Antonio's always been interested in collecting coins. He started running this stall at one of Sao Paulo's antiques markets in the early 1980s, a time that Brazil was suffering the worst of its hyperinflation.
It was awful. Prices rose 82% a month. The money you had one day wasn't worth anything the next because of inflation. You couldn't save your money anywhere.
For several decades, Brazil tried to rein in prices by introducing different economic plans and new currencies. There was the Cruzeiro, the Novo Cruzeiro, the Cruzado, the Cruzeiro Real, but nothing worked.
We built a number of stadiums.
That is, until this man, along with some of his friends, came up with the Real plan. It was based on a virtual currency that was linked to inflation, long before the likes of Bitcoin were even thought about. It then became the Real, which is still in circulation today.
That was considered a very completely off-the-wall idea. People trusted the new currency, but had a kind of wait-and-see attitude. So over time, the real was perceived as a real stable money. And that's something that was not thought to be possible after so many years of hyperinflation and failed attempts. It didn't happen on day one, but over time it happened.
The Real plan came with structural reforms too, tighter monetary and fiscal policy, and it was an economic game-changer for Brazil.
Years of inflation saw inequality grow here in Brazil. The poor couldn't save any money and the rich could better protect their finances, so stabilising the currency was seen as a path to economic growth.
Life became easier for families and for businesses, but even here at Sao Paulo's Chamber of Commerce, old memories live on. Brazilians are still cautious about investing.
Inflation in Brazil was like living in post-war Germany. It was dramatic. The worst thing about inflation is that you don't trust the future. When you receive money and you have to spend it all in 24 hours, you lose perspective of the future.
It's an era that Antonio at his coin stall remembers well. But while the notes he's collected have gained historical significance, their value hasn't. Brazilians had to stash away more notes than they cared to remember during hyperinflation. Not even collectors want to pay to remember the past. Katie Watson, BBC News, Sao Paulo.